What's going on, everybody? My name is Monatui, coach of the Tampa Bay Luxrays, and today I'm bringing you guys our PPL Season 4 Week 8 match versus Shroomraver, coach of the Parasect Germain. If you have not done so already, please check out his channel in the description below. For a quick rundown of my team, despite the fact that I do have an entire team builder dedicated to it, we have our Dragon Dance Mega Altaria, we have our Choice Banded Terrakion, our physically defensive Fortress, our specially defensive Stallbreaker Mew, and our Life Orb Speed Boost, Yanmega, as well as our Max Attack, Max Death, Black Glasses, Skuntank. So, looking at his team, big thing that I noticed is that he does not have a Powdon, which means Sand Offense is more than likely not going to be a thing. Also, no Meloetta, which is nice. Meloetta was a relatively big threat to my team, but it's not here, obviously, so that's going to be very nice for me. He does have the Spiritomb, so I can't just spam close combat like I kind of wanted to, but I do have a couple things for that. Mega Altaria is a huge threat to his team. If I get up one Dragon Dance, I OHKO Tyrantrum, Electros, Greninja, and Excadrill. So, like, I OHKO literally everything bar the Florges, assuming he's a physically defensive Florges. So, Mega Altaria is definitely the big win condition here. I can hopefully set up versus a couple different things and be able to beat him. But I also do want Hazards up as well. Hazards do pressure his Florges, they pressure Rocks particularly pressure the Electros. T-Spikes are also very nice for all of the things on his team that are grounded, of course by the Excadrill. So like it'll be able to wear down Florges, Greninja, Spiritomb, and Tyrantrum as well. So that's really nice. So without further ado, let's get into the game. I decided I want to lead with Mew because I can knock off an item. Also, if he leads, I expected him to either lead with Tyrantrum or this thing, and I'll be able to knock off the item of either of these regardless. Also, if he led Excadrill, that would have been nice. Pretty much any lead that he could have led with, bar maybe Spiritomb, I would be okay with. So he's going to lead with his Electros. I'm just going to go for a knockoff, get rid of this thing's Assault Vest so that my Yanmega can possibly knock it out later on. At least make it a little bit easier for my Yanmega later on, as he is going to U-turn out, get some damage off onto me, and go out into his Tyrantrum. And I'm expecting this thing to definitely be Scarfed. I don't think he'd switch this in if he wasn't Scarfed, in case my Nyat sped it, but he's going to lock himself into Earthquake, or I think he's going to lock himself into Earthquake, probably expecting my Terrakion to want to come out on a Head Smash, but I wouldn't have risked my Terrakion this early. Puts in a lot of work versus his team, and I definitely didn't want to threaten it, plus this can take any two hits that he can go to, 2 Scarf hits of what he can do, bar Fire Fang, which I didn't think he'd go for this early. So Fortress is going to be able to set up a T-Spike on his switch out, which is very nice. And now I'm going to switch out into my Mew, expecting either a Flamethrower or like an electric move. I didn't think he'd go for U-turn again. As you're going to see here, he does go for Wild Charge, and what I will be able to do on this turn is just Roost and get myself back to a decent amount of HP, even though he is going to be able to U-turn out. He got some more chip damage onto himself. He's definitely in range of return from Altaria, possibly in range from Bug Buzz from my Yanmega, but here he's going to send out his Excadrill. I don't want to take a hit from this thing, so I'm going to go out into my Fortress, and as you're going to see here, he just goes right for the Earthquake, which I can take relatively well, as well as get some leftovers recovery back. And because he goes for the Rapid Spin here, we know he's not Choice Scarf, which is very nice to know, and I'm going to get up my Rocks after he goes for the Rapid Spin, which is kind of nice because I at least, like, even though he got rid of my T-Spikes, I set up Rocks, so he's forced to spin again at some point. And now, he's going to make an over-prediction going for the Iron Head, as I try to go for Gyro Ball, but unfortunately I'm going to flinch, which means I'm unable to capitalize on his over-prediction, which does kind of suck. Here he's going to go for the Rapid Spin, as I'm going to go for a Gyro Ball, get some chip damage off onto him. I just need this thing weakened a little bit so that I can put it in range of Skuntank Sucker Punch, as well as guarantee that Altaria can knock it out with Earthquake, if you like Shuka Berry or something like that, make it weaker for my Yanmega as well. Here, he's going to make a very ballsy play, hard switch into his Florges, as I could have gone for a Gyro Ball, but instead I go for a T-Spike. And now I have to switch out into my Skuntank, which should be able to take this on very well. However, he's going to reveal the Life Orb Hidden Power Fire, which is a little bit scary because if he is speedy, he will be able to outspeed me and knock me out with the Moonblast, although I don't know if he knows that I'm speedy or not. He doesn't want to risk that. I just go for the safe Poison Jab. I could have gone for Crunch here, would have been a little bit of a better play, but I'm just going to go for the safe Poison Jab. Not entirely sure if he would stay in or switch out, but I'm going to go for the Sucker Punch on the next turn, expecting his Rapid Spin, and I'm able to call that perfectly. Now if he ever Iron Heads me to death, I will be able to knock him out with the Aftermath, plus he's definitely in range of Yanmega, as long as he is not Assault Vest, which is very nice. So here, I'm going to go for another Sucker Punch, to see if he wanted to knock me out or to see if he would switch out. Unfortunately, he just goes out into Tyrantrum, and now he's going to go for the Head Smash, and now something is going to get 2 KO'd. I figured Excadrill I could manage now because it was weakened, so I didn't need Fortress as much for that. Hazards would be kind of nice versus this team, but it's going to be hard to set them up because Spiritomb can possibly taunt me or just burn me. Electros knocks me out, Greninja knocks me out, Excadrill spins, and Florges of course has the HP Fire. So it'd be tough to get Hazards up versus this team at this point, but I do decide to switch out into my Fortress versus this thing. He's going to go for Head Smash, hits the first one, but the next couple turns are pretty reminiscent, or this pretty much explains how Shroom season's been going. So he's going to hit the first Head Smash. Gonna miss the second Head Smash. I'm able to get up a T-Spike. I'm gonna get Leftovers back. He's then going to get the lowest possible roll with Head Smash, and I'm going to crit him with Gyro Ball. So that mattered a lot. So like, the Head Smash miss, like one of those is like understandable, because that does happen. Like 80%, that happens a lot. But a Head Smash miss, followed by a min roll, followed by a crit, all of that combined is just really, really unfortunate for him. Like, I would have lost my Fortress at that point, I wouldn't have been able to get rid of the Tyrantrum, I wouldn't have been able to get up my Hazard, and that just really, really sucks for him. There's just nothing good about that for him at all, and that's really gonna put me in a very nice spot. So, to continue with the game, he's going to send out his Excadrill. He can't Rapid Spin knock me out, so he's just going to knock me out with the Iron Head, which is totally fine. And here, this is not necessarily a misplay, but at this point I was kind of afraid of his Excadrill being Assault Vest. I figured if he thought I would bring like Focus Blast on my Thundurus, it would make sense to bring Assault Vest. I've done that for Aurasphere Raikou in the past, and it could definitely make sense if he did that now. So I didn't want to go out in a Yanmega, not kill, and then lose my Yanmega, because Yanmega can still put in a lot of work versus this team. Plus, he can always switch out on a possible Protect, even though I would have just gone for the attack, because I know I have Speed him at this point. I go out into my Terrakion instead, as he is going to pull a Hard Switch out into his Spiritomb, and I'm just going to go for the Close Combat, being immune to it. This is still okay, because I do have my Skuntank in the back that I can kind of just sack off at this point. It's not doing a ton for the rest of the game. Like, Fleur just knocks it out, Greninja knocks it out, Electros knocks it out. So I'm going to go out into my Skuntank, as he actually reveals the Toxic, which is kind of nice. Going to go for the Crunch, going to get the Defense Drop, which as you're going to see is not really going to end up mattering, as he burns me with the Will-O-Wisp. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for the Pursuit, expecting him to want to switch out, and now he is in range of Poison Damage, meaning I am I'm one turn away from being able to spam Close Combat with Terrakion. He's going to send out Electros, and this was a little bit of a mistake on my part. I'm going to go for the Poison Jab and get the Poison, and that's actually not good for me. My intention for this was get a little bit of damage off onto him with Skuntank. He knocks me out, or he goes for the U-turn. If he knocks me out, he lives the Aftermath, and he lives the Recoil. I go out into Mega Altaria, click Dragon Dance, and then win the game. I should have gone for Crunch, because Poison Jab has that chance to poison, and because I poison him, he's going to go for Wild Charge. He's going to knock me out. He's going to take Aftermath, he's going to take the Recoil, and then he has just little enough HP to the point where the poison is going to knock him out. Which means that if I had gone for Crunch, he would have lived, I would have been able to go out into Mega Altaria, click Dragon Dance. He did have Iron Tail on his Electros, but that wouldn't have been able to knock me out, and I would have been able to click Dragon Dance and just sweep the rest of his team, unless he had like Scarf Greninja or something like that. So, definitely a little bit of a mistake on my part. Of course it is a 30% chance, but at least for once this season, Shroom got hacks against him that actually benefited him more than it hurt him. So at least that's a little bit of a silver lining, but regardless, I'm going to send in my Mega Altaria here. It gets a kill, pretty much. I'm just going to Mega Evolve. He can't switch anything in, going to click Return, and Spiritomb's going to die. He does have Roselia Berry as well. That's cool. And now he's going to send out his Excadrill. I think I can actually live an Iron Head if I wanted to, but I didn't want to. I wanted to be in range to, I wanted to be healthy enough to live a hit from Greninja, plus I didn't want to get flinched. So I'm going to switch into my Mew, pretty much just stacking it off, but as you're going to see here, he's going to reveal the Rapid, well, he's going to go for the Rapid Spin, which confused me at first, because there was no real reason for him to do that. T-Spike weren't that big of a deal anymore, until it dawned on me that the only reason he would want to go for Rapid Spin on that turn is to preserve a Focus Sash on Greninja, and that made my heart sink a bit, because Sash Greninja still has a chance to win this game. It gets a free kill, and then it can possibly sweep through the rest of my team, especially paired with Florges that can switch into my Yanmega. So, as you're going to see here, he is Oh, sorry, that's my phone. What he is going to do is going to go out into his Greninja, going to knock me out with the Ice Beam. I'm going to go out into my Mega Altaria on this turn and take the Ice Beam. He is going to freeze me, but then I thaw, and I'm able to hit him and bring him down to his Focus Sash. So, had Shroom been able to freeze me and then not have me thaw on that turn, I'm pretty sure he would have ended up winning this game. Guaranteed, 100%, because he freezes me, I stay frozen, his Sash doesn't get broken, he can knock me out, and then I have to go out into Terrakion or Yanmega. If he has Hydro Pump, then he can miss, I guess, and that could be a way I can break his Sash and then maybe like flinch his Florges to death, or I just have to go to Yanmega, protect, then break his Sash, and then pray that I live a hit with Terrakion. But then at that, like, as soon as I go into Yanmega, his best play is probably just going into Florges anyway. So freezing me and keeping me frozen would have absolutely sucked, but he did freeze me, but then we thawed out immediately, which was, I was super thankful for, even though I did hack him a little bit earlier with the crit and the miss. Well, not a little bit, that was a terrible burst of hacks. The freeze would have been absolutely terrible for me. So, he's gonna live on his Focus Sash, of course, and then he is going to knock me out with the next Ice Beam, and now what I can do is go into my Yanmega and click. I click Protect. I could have pulled the double, but I didn't think it was necessarily worth it. I go for the Protect. Unfortunately, he calls that and goes out into his Florges, and I can't switch out into my Terrakion. I'm just going to go for the Air Slash. Maybe if I can flinch him a couple times, I can win with this, but he is going to knock me out with the Life Orb Moonblast. And now, it is Terrakion versus Florges and Greninja. I'll be able to knock out the Florges, no problem, with Poison Jab. I don't have to risk Rock Slide or Stone Edge, which is really nice, so I'm glad I have Poison Jab. But now, it comes down to me versus this Greninja. He's in Torrent, so his Scald will knock me out. Hydro Pump also always knocks me out, but because he's in Torrent, a Scald will definitely knock me out. However, he does not know if I am Scarfed yet, and he's actually packing Water Shuriken on this Greninja. So he thinks that I'm Choice Scarfed at this point, because I haven't revealed my item yet. So he is going to go for a Torrent boosted Water Shuriken, which cannot knock me out unless he gets 5 hits and a crit. 1 hit, 18%. The next one did 19. Next one 21. Next one 22. He gets the 5th hit, but it's a lower roll. We're able to live on 2%, and we're going to be able to knock out his Greninja. So, wow. That makes this the second game this season where Terrakion lives on like 2% and is able to pick up the last kill. This was an absolutely incredible game. I thought after the Tyrantrum thing absolutely sucked. Maybe the game would have gone like a little bit differently and like somehow not as bad for me, but that absolutely sucked. I would have lost my Fortress, and he would have still had his Tyrantrum, which was a big threat to my team. This was definitely like such a good game. It came down to the absolute wire, as a lot of these games tend to be. When he Rapid Spun with before he Rapid Spun with Excadrill, and like when it was Mew versus Excadrill, I was like, okay, this is gonna be totally fine. And then he spun, and my heart just sank, because I was like, there's a reason he got rid of that T-Spike. It's to preserve the Focus Sash on Greninja, and Greninja was the one thing that could have possibly beaten the rest of my team. I think before that I could have made a couple different plays if I anticipated Focus Sash Greninja, but I was expecting either like Extra Belt or Scarf. Scarf seemed like the more likely option because they can outspeed Yanmega at +1 and knock me out, outspeeds a Scarf Terrakion, and Shroom is definitely capable, or Shroom is definitely willing of running dual Scarfers on a team, Tyrantrum and the Greninja. So, absolutely great game. We're going to pull this game out with a 1-0. Whether or not I deserve it is up for debate, but we are going to pull away with a win. And it does feel good. Our chances of the championship are not great. I think Shroom and Sam have to lose like their next 3 games in a row, and we have to win all of our games, but we're going to keep fighting for as long as we possibly can. We're going to see how well we can do, how strongly we can finish. But regardless, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you're looking forward to the next match. Next week we're going up against Slyro of the Pittsburgh Pyroar, so I hope you're looking forward to that, and until then, I will see you.